Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Michael got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 in the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, man. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. But also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, come on, man. Please don't tell me you didn't know we had our mobile app. What your problem is? What your problem is, man? Come on, guys. You got to know that. You got to keep up with the Joneses and them. So here's what I need you to do. Okay? Go to wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from. So go whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart or Kmart or 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworth, Rebolts, Goldblatts. It doesn't matter. Just go there, type in Sports Zone Chicago, download it. Take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channels. If you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put us there next to the big boys, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, HBO Max, Apple Plus, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Oh, yeah, new episode of Power Book 4, Raising Canaan. Woo! Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to watch that after this show. I'm fired up. Got me fired up over here. Download us to this TV. Put us on. Watch us on a big screen. Hell, run a big screen right, Mickey, Vicky, now. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Man, we got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in a thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Woo, Charlie, let me check it out. The chat is jumping. And I love it. Patty Lara's in the house. She's like, happy Mickey Ficky TGI Friday, Shawn. Happy TGI Mickey Ficky Friday to you too, Patty. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. is in the house. Like, good morning, all. Good morning, man. Patty says, Jeremiah saying hi, Theo Shaw. Jeremiah, good morning, mijo. I got to step up there and see you, baby. I miss you. I got to see you and Dito. That's awesome. Brandon Schutz in the house. What's up, Papa? Says, happy Friday to you too. How are you? I'm good, Papa. I'm good. As I say that, I cough. No, but I'm good, Brandon. I'm doing well. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for asking. Cornelius Squall's in the house. What up, Sport Zoners? Cornelius is in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Shorty is in the house. He's like, top of the morning to you. Mr. Shorty, how you doing, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Rick Gonzalez is in the house. Good morning, Shawn and chat. Shawn, favorite school snack your mom put in your lunchbox for school? I'm going with the Swiss rolls. No. Mine were the cinnamon rolls, the little the cinnamon cups that you could unroll. The cinnamon swirls, that's what they were. The cinnamon swirls have the frosting on it, and I would unroll it. And just those are the best. Rick, you're a fool. Way to get me started. Way to get me fired up this morning, man. You got me imitating, unraveling a little cinnamon roll. Rick, you're a fool, my man. I love it. Oh, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Damn, James Ford checking in. What's up, Papa? He says, good morning, Shawn. Good morning, James. And Rick says, nice. Those are fire. Patty says, honey buns. Honey buns were nice. That was nice. Only reason I didn't like honey buns was because for some reason they always put them in the plastic bag. They didn't put them in foil or anything. They put them in a plastic bag. And if you're a fan of honey buns, once they're in the plastic bag, they get a little moist and wet and sweaty on the outside, and then the icing would stick to the plastic bag, the sandwich bag, and it would stuck. Then I have to stick my finger inside the sandwich bag and wipe that frosting off and like that. Yeah. Well, honey buns are good too. Mr. Shorty, FGB. That's what we're talking about, baby. Rick Gonzalez says, bear down, FGB. I love it. And listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Man, we got a great show for you. My man Ken Davis is going to join us at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Ken Davis. That's Davis. That's his Twitter handle. He's the former Bear analyst, or the former host of the Under Center podcast on NBC Sports Chicago. All right, he's also the host of that Davis show, and just a straight up great dude. One of the dudes I love talking to because he can talk multiple sports with knowledge. All right, he's one of those guys, man. We could talk, and we're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk NBA playoffs. We're going to talk Bears. We're going to talk the new Pope. Southside, stand up. Southside, stand up. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Oh, now we got a direct line. We got someone who's got the backbone right to the big man. Right to the big. So, see, the Pope is infallible. The Pope is infallible. Oh, man. King Booker World says, salute everybody at Shawn. Off topic, just want to give my love to my grandma who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. She said she will be fine. Look forward to meeting new people every day. She's something, man. King Booker World, reach out to me. Reach out to me today, King Booker World. All right? Follow me on Facebook. I'll talk to you about some stuff that I'm doing with my mom, and that'll help her out a lot. All right? And you're in the Shy, so you can go to the stores that I go to and get some of the stuff that'll be very, very, very beneficial for your grandma. Okay? So reach out to me. Send me a direct message. Okay? Rick Gonzalez says, no socks today, please. Why? Just because we got swept by Kansas City? Yeah, I'm finding the remnants of that cough that I had a little bit. Yeah. Mom's gave it to me. Thanks, Mom. Sharing is caring, I see. She's recovering. She's not going to CrossFit today. So she'll get back at it on Monday. But Ken Davis at 10 o'clock. Wow. Is that right, Rick? Rick says, Shawn, we have not won a game in Kansas City since 2023. Wow. King Booker World says she's a fool just like me, so she was cracking jokes about it. Appreciate the love, y'all. Yeah, King Booker World, man, I'm telling you, reach out to me today, please. If you want, right after the show, I don't gotta go pick up the warden because she's home. She'll be home all day. And I'll turn you on to a place to go that'll really, really, really help her out. Okay? Help her out big time. All right? So, yeah, reach out to me and we can get that taken care of. Because those things can be treated and actually can be reversed. That's the crazy part. Is a lot of times they don't tell you that shit can be reversed. They just let you think it's a death sentence, and that's the thing about big pharma that sucks. Is all right? Is they want to treat you, they don't want to cure you, because one cured patient is a lost customer. Each cured patient, I should say, is a lost customer. And you know, with the trillions of dollars that big pharma makes, they ain't trying to lose any customers. Let me just see something. How much did Big Pharma make in 2024? Listen to this. This is for the first 3 months of 2024. I was trying to find for the whole year. But in the first 3 months of 2024 of last year, the 15 major pharmaceutical companies reported nearly $103 billion in revenue and about $29 billion in profits. $29 billion in profits in 3 months. So they're averaging $10 billion a month. $10 billion a month. Yep. So reach out to me, Papa. Yeah, that is crazy. Crazy. Whew. So the U.S. pharmaceutical market size was estimated to be $639.22 billion. That's probably what they made in revenue for the year. What the fudge crackers is that? Okay, yeah, King Booker World. Email me then. Email me, and yeah, we'll get I'll get you my number, and we can talk, and I'll tell you exactly what up. We can talk. So I want Flashback Friday, yeah, baby. I was at La Garra last week. For those of you who don't know what La Garra means, and I saw this, I gotta rock this on Flashback Friday. I saw it. I was like, dude, I gotta have it. Oh man. But let's see. Oh man, Short, it's right. He said my grandma who just passed away had really bad dementia. She would forget every minute or so. What was the happiest woman you could ever meet? Man, thoughts of, sorry for your loss, Shorty. And thoughts and prayers out to you and your family. Remember, yeah. Cornelius, you got it right, Papa. I agree, Shawn. There's no money in cures, just treatment. That's exactly what it is. Okay, that's a whole nother podcast, because, man, that's why they got rid of Dr. Sebi. That's why they got rid of Nipsey Hussle, the rapper, because he was about to do a documentary on Dr. Sebi. Yeah, so it's big business, baby. Big business. I don't even know. But anyway, let's see what time we got. All right, we got time for one or two topics. So, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show was called Top of the Morning. The new improved Top of the Morning from Steve-O.
He won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yes. Oh, snap. Let's see. The first top of the morning topic. Let's see. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? I got to figure out which. Here we go. Yeah, this one is not pretty. The good guys. The good guys from the South Side. Woo. They had a rough one yesterday out in Kansas City. The White Sox get swept by the Royals after a 10-0 defeat yesterday. Davis Martin he was on the bump for the good guys. He got the loss. He's 1-4 on the season. He went 4 in the third, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 free pass, 2 punch outs. Luis Robert was 1 for 4. Lenin Sosa was 1 for 4. He had double, his 5th. Andrew Vaughn was 1 for 3 with a double, his 6th of the season. And it's frustrating when you see that, you know, you got these youngsters, you know, and they're it's tough for them because you gotta go through some growing pains. You know, you got to go through some growing pains, and the thing is, you see that you see the desire, you see the fight, you see them not quitting. It's just we're not seeing wins, but that's part of the process. You know, that's part of the process. You're going to get your ass handed to you. Very rarely does anyone come in and just dominate. All right, it's not how it works usually. You know, that's not how it works. So, wow. Staying with the Sox, and the next top of the morning topic tonight. The good guys are home. Yes, baby. The White Sox host the Florida Marlins at the rate. First pitch tonight is at 6:40 p.m. Central Time. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. The probables for tonight's games for Florida. Max Myers is on the bump. He's 2-3 with a 3.92 ERA going up against Bryce Wilson, who's going to be on the bump for the good guys. He's 0-1 with a 5.56 ERA. A little bit of sad news. Former White Sox outfielder Chet Lemon passed away yesterday at the age of 70. Lemon played for the White Sox from 1975 and 1981. He's a 3-time All-Star, and he was a World Series champ with the Detroit Tigers back in 1984. He played his first 7 years with the White Sox, and his last 9 years of his career he played with the Detroit Tigers. Detroit sucks. So, you know, and it's funny, like I remember Chet Lemon because he was the reason when I played baseball, he was the reason one of my first numbers, I don't know if it was my first year or my second year, I got number 44 for him. I want to be like Chet Lemon. I had his baseball card. That was back in the day when everyone collected baseball cards. My cousin Lalito, big shout out to Lalito. Lalito Temez. Man, he was a big sports nut. Big sports fan. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. He's one of the few Mexicans that were into hockey back in the 70s and 80s. All right. And would love this. We love this White Sox team. Chet Lemon, Lamar Hoyt, Greg the Bull Durham, Ron Kittle. Then Ozzie came in, 84, 85, something like that. Harold Baines, Tommy Paciorek, Pudge, of course, Carlton Fisk, Steve Sachs after he left the Dodgers. We loved baseball, and Chet Lemon was one of my favorites when I first got into baseball as a youngster. So thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Chet Lemon in this time of sorrow. Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, all right, we're going to continue with top of the morning topics. We got a few more, all right? So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Sosa lines this one into right center field, and he's going to take the big turn and go to second. Waters will get it back in, but a leadoff double for the Sox to start this third. Lifted in the air to left field. And Baldwin makes the diving grab. We are watching this young man get better and better in front of our eyes in left field. Down the line in right field, a fair ball off the bat of Andrew Vaughn. It'll rattle around that corner. And Vaughn, a leadoff double to start this fifth inning. 2-2. Throws him with a sweeper, strike three.
Well, Selby didn't like it, but that had the whole strike zone.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those comes courtesy of Chicago Sports Network. Those are the good guys getting their ass whooped. Notice they're like 6 highlights. 5 of them were the 5 of the 6 hits that they got, and then a strikeout. That's all they can show. They didn't have any runs. No runs scored. Oh man, my guys are getting it. Oh goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. And that was crazy because you just watching this team, it's like there's just so much talent. I shouldn't say so much. They have talent, but they just don't get it done. And that's the messed up part. That's the messed up part. So let's keep it going. The next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. Yes, baby, baby. All right, Cub fans. All right. We are happy and everything. The Cubs travel to Flushing Meadows in Queens. Kings from Queens. From Queen come King. I'm raising hell like a class when the lunch bell ring. That's some Run DMC's joint right there. All my old school hip hop heads. Kings from Queens. From Queens comes Kings. Oh man, they head over to, it's a big matchup, man. It's a pretty big matchup early on in the year for the Cubs. The first place Mets taking on the first place Cubs. Okay, first pitch tonight is at 6:10 p.m. Central Time. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 6:70 a.m. The probables for tonight's game. On the bump for the Cubs, Jameson Taillon. He's 2-1 with a 3.86 ERA, going up against Clay Holmes, who's 4-1 for the New York Metropolitans. He has a 2.95 ERA. So good matchup. Again, like I said, early. It's a good early season matchup series for the Cubs, and see how well they can do. Without, I mean, they're down, man down. They're down. So, it's an early test. See how well they do today on the road. In Big Apple. Let me see something. Okay, here we go. The next top of the morning topic, the Bears. The Bears have signed their first-round draft pick, Colston Loveland. He signs a 4-year, $26.6 million deal, fully guaranteed. He's getting all that money. But it also includes a $16.01 million signing bonus. So he got a check for $16 million. Well, let me take that. So signing bonus was 16, you get that immediately. But Uncle Sam took about 8 of that real quick yesterday. Uncle Sam's like, no. But he got a $16.1 million signing bonus. That means 10 years. Let's see, it's 10 mil. So his base salary is going to be 2.5 mil. And then you prorate his signing bonus over the length of the contract. That's 4 years. So it's a very friendly deal. Then obviously they have the 5th year option if they want, because he's a first round pick. And yeah. I'm excited about that. In addition to Colston Loveland signing, okay, the Bears signed 4 day 3 picks All right. They signed Ruben Hippolyte, the linebacker. They signed cornerback Zah Frazier. They signed lineman former from Holy Cross, but out of Michigan State, Luke Newman. And they signed 7th-round running back Kyle Monangai. Could not find the details for those contracts. But then they had a whole bunch of free agents, undrafted free agents that they signed. They signed North Carolina linebacker Power Nichols, Iowa long snapper Luke Elkin, Texas State running back Deion Hankins, Michigan State kicker Jonathan Kim, TCU wide receiver J.P. Richardson, and Texas A&M wide receiver Jade Walker. Okay, they signed all those guys ahead of today because the next top of the morning topic is the Bears start rookie minicamp today. Not Toady, today. Bears start rookie minicamp today. Toady. Here we go. It's our rookie minicamp today. So it's everyone's going to be in the building. Colston Loveland is not going to participate. He'll be in the building. I mean, he was there yesterday, but he's not going to be on the field because he's still coming back from that shoulder surgery. All right, he's 3 months in. He's got 3 more months to go. All right, so it's a little frustrating at times, just knowing the fact that he's injured, or that he's not going to be able to participate, and he wanted this done fast or soon, as soon as possible, because he wanted to be able to be ready for training camp. Because I don't think he's not going to be ready for OTAs and mini camp and everything. So I think his target date, according to what he said, was training camp. So apparently they're on schedule, and it's good for him. Good. And here's a good thing is that he's also going to be able to look at study the playbook and look at it from a coaching perspective, because now it's all going to be mental reps. Okay. And mental reps are vital, especially for a youngster. You need physical reps, but since he can't get out there, he needs mental reps. So oh man, my man's checking in. Jay Grizz in the house, baby. He coming and talking that yin yang. He said, "Go Cubs, Mr. SuperBack. You know you want to." No, I don't. No, I don't. What else? Mr. Shorty says, Shawn, we brought this up last night. Will any of these draft picks start day one? Think about it before you answer. Barring injury, Colston Loveland, he might start off in 12 personnel. First play of the season might be 12 personnel. All right, so he'll be out there, I would imagine, with Cole. And Ozzy Trapillo might start. And maybe Ruben Hippolyte. All right, because, and here's why I say that. Wow. Luther Burden could be, yeah. No, because if they go 12 personnel, then that's 2 tight ends. You'll have 2 wide receivers. So it'll be DJ and Rome. So Luther Burden, no. Colston Loveland, most likely. Ozzy Trapillo, possibly. And Ruben Hippolyte, possibly. Because I say that because of this. Dennis Allen likes to bring pressure. He likes to bring pressure to the quarterback with 5 people. And that 5th person is usually a linebacker who can go. And let me tell you something. Ruben Hippolyte can go. He ran a 4.39, I want to say, at his pro day. The only thing is he's shorter. He's 5'11-ish, 205, 210. But the speed is what really, really, really excites Dennis Allen. Because if you got guys, think about it. If you got guys who are penetrating and getting to the quarterback, Montez Sweat, Billings, Grady Jarrett, okay, O'Day, Odengbo. And then you're worried about those guys. You're going to have to double team someone. And then you got a linebacker coming hard. Excuse me. Then you got a linebacker who can blitz because that's what Hippolyte can do. He's one hell of a blitzer. So I don't know if he'll start. And it's tough because it all depends on what package he puts out there in the first play of the game. He very well could. But I would say definitely Loveland. Burden, no. Ozzy Trapillo, really strong possibility of yes. Let me take a look at those guys again. Loveland, yes. Burden, no. Newman, no. Shamar Turner, no. Zah Frazier, no. Ozzy Trapillo, maybe. And Ruben Hippolyte, maybe. He's a bigger maybe than Ozzy Trapillo. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. What do you... Well, Rick, good. The sooner he gets up to speed, the sooner he can get rid of Komet. You don't like Komet? Komet's good, man. I'm good with him. I'm good with Komet. Rick says Loveland, Ozzy, Burden for sure. Yeah, I don't know if Burden and Ozzy won't be out there. I mean, Burden and Loveland won't be out there in 12 personnel. It won't be out there in 12 personnel. You have DJ, you'll have Rome. Remember, 12 personnel is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, which means 2 wide receivers. So you got the 2 tight ends, Cole and Loveland. 2 wide receivers will be DJ and Rome and the running back. That's why I don't think so. Loveland and Burden can't start together unless they go 11 personnel. But then will Loveland not start? Will it be Cole in there initially for 11 personnel? You have Cole and Burden you can put in there. It's interesting. King Booker Will says, I heard somewhere that technically, even though he isn't cleared, he has been catching passes. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Shorty says, really? Komet got on a serious roll last year, but did fade away. He didn't fade away. He didn't get the ball thrown to him. He didn't get the ball thrown to him. Yeah, they're not going a 2 running back set. They're not coming out in a 2 running back set. They're not going 21 or 22 personnel. Not to start the game, I don't believe. Look at the stats. So overrated. Since he's a Chicago kid, people defend him until the cows come home. Well, what stats you want me to look at? Because if you want me to look at the stats from last year in 24, yeah, they suck because Caleb Williams didn't want to throw to the tight end. Why? I have no idea. Actually, I do have an idea. He's a Justin guy. It's exactly what I feel. He didn't throw to him. What happened the year before? Cole had a career year with Justin. Okay, Cole came out and said he preferred Justin. He was a Justin guy. Look at the 2 guys that came out and said they're adjusting guys. Cole Kmet and DJ Moore. DJ Moore should have had a lot more targets, but what did he do? He went at Rome a little bit, and he went to Keenan Allen. Okay, I don't understand why you don't force your number one receiver the ball. Again, you had Rome, you had Keenan Allen, you got great teammates, but he's the number one guy. So Cole Kmet's stats last year took a dip because of Caleb. Yeah, 3 wide receivers that could mean Burden, would probably mean Burden, most likely. But Ben Johnson loves to run 12 personnel, which only gives you 2 wide receivers. Kick Booker Will said, if the Bears convert Reuben to safety, I'm going to start my own show and call it I'm Always Right sometimes. That's funny. But that wouldn't be. He's 236. I didn't think he was that heavy. I didn't think he was that heavy. Heavy. Let me see. Yeah. 235, 240. And he runs that time? Holy sheesh. And he runs. Whoo, okay. Wow. I'm a little impressed. I'm a lot more impressed, I should say. Bio splits. No. That's not what I want to see. Here we go. The draft NFL combine. Oh, come on, you're killing me. 5'11", 236. Arm length, draft results, drafted. 3 more. Blazing speed for a 236-pound inside linebacker at Pro Day. They don't have his 40. Come on. That's interesting why they don't have his 40 time. But I thought it was like 4.38 or something crazy like that. I thought it was 4.38. That's insane if he runs a 4.38. That's insane if he does that. Jesus Christ, that'd be nuts. I'm actually trying to find it. That's why I'm looking. Here we go. Ruben Hippolyte 40 time. Okay, I was mistaken. He didn't run a 4.38. He ran a 4.42. So 4/100ths of a second. 4/100ths of a second, which is like that. You just don't like Kmet, huh? Listen, I'm not putting him a gold jacket on Kmet. I'm not putting a gold jacket on him at all. What I'm saying is he's a productive tight end. And you saw that when he had a quarterback who threw the ball to him. Okay, he's run over a lot of people. He's run through a lot of people to score. I don't know. He didn't steal your girlfriend. He didn't kiss your girlfriend or date your girlfriend back in the day, did he, Rick? Because that sounds kind of like personal. Again, I'm not putting him in the top 5. He might be a top 10 tight end. Yeah, with Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Laporta, Kelsey. Give me some other. There's some other ones I'm sure I can. I'd say he's a top 10 tight end. Oh, yeah. But not top 5. You're talking about are you talking about Hippolytes? He's 5'11". If you're talking about asking, Mr. Shorty, you said, what's his height, Cornelius? Are you talking about Hippolyte? He's 5'11". You say never 1,000 yards, never over 10 touchdowns. What am I missing? So you want our tight end. You wanted your tight end last year with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and first round pick Roma Dunze, who led the NCAA in receiving yards the year before. You wanted your tight end to have 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. You wanted your fourth option to have 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. Now he's going to be the third. Oh, he might still be the fourth option. Colston Loveland might surpass him, and that's okay. I mean, give us 600 yards. Give us 600 yards, and I'm cool. He had 474 yards last year, 4 touchdowns. In 23, his last year with Justin, 719 yards and 6 touchdowns. You give me 600 yards. It's only another 130 yards that he had last year. More than he had last year. You give him 600 yards as your fourth option? You give me my fourth receiving option, 600 yards, and give me 5 touchdowns. 600 yards and 6 touchdowns? That's a hell of a fourth option. He does need to improve his blocking. Yes, Cornelius. Foster Covers joining in. Papa, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. We can't blame everything on everyone else. Cole is overrated. Nobody can change my mind. I'm Latino and a Taurus, so I'm stubborn as fuck. When's your birthday? Because I have a second birthday, Rick. My second birthday is 5/11/67, which makes me a Taurus. So I think I may have told you, my first year home from college, I was living with we lived in Cicero. My cousin was 4 years older than me. So I'm 18, going to be 19. And this was 1990. All right. So I was like, man, I asked my cousin, I said, let me take, this is the way the DMV had. It wasn't as digitized as it is now. King Book World, you're a fool. PD lights. Anyway, my cousin gave me his birth certificate, his social security card. I went to the DMV over on Lexington, the one on 290. And for some reason, there was nobody in there on a Monday. Usually that takes forever. And I was able to go in there, and I went, choop, 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 choop. Next thing you know, within 20 minutes, I was getting my picture taken. Probably between 15 and 20 minutes, I was getting my picture taken. You know, going to the DMV, how long it takes for you to get all those steps before you get to your picture being taken. And I flew through that. And that was back when they laminated them, was that when they opened up the plastic and they had to slide the ID in and they laminated them. So my cousin told me, it was funny. He said, hey, he goes, what's your zodiac sign? I'm like, Leo. He's like, no. He goes, they're going to look at that and at your birthday. And he's like, well, what's your zodiac sign? I'm like, oh, he goes, you can't stutter. And he told me, he goes, I'm a Taurus. I'm like, ah. So I have 2 birthdays. And yes, he was stubborn as hell. My point is his stats don't match the height. But here's the thing. What no one's comparing him to George Kittle. I think he's a top 10 tight end. I mean, go look at the tight end. There's a good bunch at the front, at the top, and then And I think Cole Kmet is at the bottom of that top tier or the top of the second tier. Kmet's blocking was a big issue last year, amplified by the shitty O-line. Well, let me tell you something. I agree he needs improvement, but also here's a crazy thing. When you're not getting the ball, and there are many times I was at the games and Cole Kmet's open and he wasn't being targeted by Caleb Williams. I'd be pissed. Foster covers. No, it was a state ID. State ID. Tigers, I got my driver's license at 12 years old. But mine was legit. My picture and everything. And I was 20. It was 1167. I was 19. So it was 4 more years. I would have been 23. And man, you talk about clubbing the whole nine. Yeah. All I'm saying is, Black Diamond checking in. What's up, Papa? I says, yo, top of the morning. All I'm saying is, don't expect 1,000 yards from Cole Kmet. Especially last year when he was the fourth option. And he might be the fourth option again this year. Even if he's the third option, they're going to run the ball a lot more. Yeah, Rick. My first job was at 12 years old at Craples. Getting paid under the table because I wasn't 16. That's nice. What'd you do? Just like wash dishes or do finish the tables or mop or sweep? What'd you do? That's crazy, dude. That's dope. Dishwasher. Okay. Dude, that's crazy. Really, Junior? I got a valid driver's license in Mexico at 12 because my Theo used to have us move and park his cars. Oh, snap. That's crazy. I see your point. Rick, what do you want from Cole Kmet? All right, what do you want from Cole Kmet? You know? What do you want from him? I mean, do you want 600, 800 yards? Is that what you want? I mean, because that's going to be that's unrealistic. And you know how much Ben Johnson loves to run the ball. You know that. We know that. So if that's the case, what you're asking is unrealistic. Now, yeah, his blocking could improve, but I'll tell you what, when you're getting the rock, man, you're more than happy to give yourself up for the team. When the quarterback hits you, and I don't know if he's gonna hit you. I don't. That's the crazy part. I don't know because he's still gonna be minimum third option. He could be fourth again. But we'll see. We'll see. Where do we start off? Hey, listen, you know what? The new Pope was elected yesterday. Okay? He's an American. The first time an American has been elected the Pope. In charge of 1.6 billion Catholics. And he's from Chicago. Born in Chicago. raised in Dalton, and Southsider. He actually taught. So in today's paper, which is really dope, he actually taught at St. Rita. Probably when I was there. St. Rita celebrates one of their own, Father Bob. And the crazy part is I'm trying to think if I ever, when he was there, and he ever substituted for us. He's visited the school several times. Yeah, because he's an Augustinian. And where those are the Augustinian priests are at St. Rita. But it was good to see an American, but also a Chicagoan, a Southsider. All right. First American Pope, Robert Prevost, a.k.a. Father Bob, who's taking on the moniker Pope Leo XIV. And he's a Sox fan. See, Cub fans are crazy. You guys wanted to report that false narrative early on. You know, just jump on it. No. Okay, Rick, you said I want the TDs more than the yards. Okay, so you want him in the end zone. You want him throwing it up inside. You want Komet. Okay. Okay. Jay Grizz, our first job was at 12 at 2 at Jewel stocking shelves. Okay. Okay. Well, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my mans in now. Okay. You got the picture in the back, Papa. I see you. I forgot to text you. Like, if that picture ain't in the back, you ain't on. You ain't on. I'm glad you got the picture in the back. So we can proceed from here. Oh, man, Ken Davis on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
He's a Cubs fan.
That's not true.
That's not true. He's not a Cubs fan.
That's not
What
true.
is he?
He's a Sox fan.
What?
Yeah, he was never, ever a Cubs fan, so I don't know where that came from. He was always a Sox fan. Our mother was a Cubs fan. I don't know, maybe that clued in there. And our dad was a Cardinals fan, so I don't know where that all came from. And all the aunts, our mom's family was from North Side, so that's why they were Cubs fans.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Channel 7 ABC Chicago, ABC 7 Chicago, and WGN Channel 9 Chicago. You heard the brother of the Pope, the brother Robert Prevost, a.k.a. Pope Leo the 14th, his brother, the oldest brother, saying he was a Sox fan. Set the record straight. Because you Cub fans, you know how shady you can be. You jumped out like he's a Cub fan. He's from Chicago. He's a Cub fan. And he's a Bears and a Cub fan. And they're like, no. See? Anyway. My first guest, glad to have him on. You know, I love talking sports with him, and he got my man in the background, so we're good to go. And he was the former host of the Under Center podcast of NBC Sports Chicago. He's also host of the Davis Show, excuse me. You find him on Twitter at That's Davis. Man, let's welcome back my mans and them. Ken Davis. What's up, Papa? How you doing?
What's going on, chat? Real quick, I gotta tell my girl Patty the family's doing well. Patty, I'll tell them you said what's up. What's up, everybody in the chat? I see you gangbanging over the Pope early in the morning.
You know it, baby.
As his brother jumped out like, slow down. All right.
So my guy who owns Output, Eddie,
okay,
he posted yesterday. He goes, "It's insane. The Pope. We have a Chicago guy. It's insane Pope." Because then you know that there's a little gang. I don't know if you know the little gang called the Insane Popes. He's like, you see what I did there? I'm like,
yeah. Yes, I went to school further out east. So I know the Latin gangs, to say the least. I'm familiar with a few of those gangs, but yeah, definitely.
Those organizations.
Those organizations. The whistle. Once you hear the whistle, watch out. All right, you hear that whistle. Oh, lordy.
And you get a lot of love, man. A lot of love. Jay Grizz like, Big Ken. And Shorty's like, oh, yeah. Cornelius Paul says, Ken, salute. But the Shorty's like, Kenneth. And
it's one of the best chats out there.
Damn fool, man. Oh, shit. Kenneth, drop him down. Davis is in the place, which means everybody's pregnant.
The good old days.
You're like,
me and Italian Shawn. What's up, Mondo?
Oh, man. Well, let's start off quickly with the White Sox, because that'll take about 30 seconds. They try hard. Got blown out yesterday, 10-0. They fight. They fight hard. They just. Your thoughts on these youngsters coming up, man?
They need at bats. They need reps. It's gonna take a minute. I think that's worst part about, and I'm not locked in because you know how I feel about the Sox. Anybody doesn't know, like Pope Leo the 14th. I am a Sox fan. Even though I don't hate I outgrew the rivalry part because the Cubs have no bearing on what the Sox do. My friends that are Cubs fans, shout out to y'all with the Cubs. doing everything that they're doing, and PCA kicking ass, and Tucker. Shout out to everything. The Cubs came back around. That's on us, the Sox, for what we're getting on the Sox end. But it's just, it's funny. I was thinking about the Sox yesterday, and the fact that now they've entered another streak of having one of the worst starts in franchise history. And due to the last MLB bargaining agreement, when it came to draft picks, I was like, well, at least they'll get the top pick in the draft, since you couldn't get it back to back with the teams that are revenue sharing teams. And since the Sox are revenue sharing, even though they don't attract as many fans to the stadium as most revenue sharing teams like the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, so on and so forth, and the Cubs. It's not exactly the same, but that's the situation the Sox are in. I mean, I'm be honest with you, it just feels like it's going to take a minute, and also you're hoping that you're hitting on more picks than you're not. I know what's the name got sent to the side, for some hitting last week. Coasting, Coasting it. You know what I mean? And those type of guys you need. You're going to need some guys to pop. I was thinking about how crazy we were over Lou Bob like 5 years ago, and we're watching. Now it's funny. I was in Birmingham this weekend, and we're watching Lou Bob in Birmingham, right? Watching minor league teams because we can't help to watch this player that's supposed to be the next Phenom here in Chicago. And man, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like baseball's one of those things, man. You if you don't love it, I understand, but I love it. I haven't been as connected to it because it takes so much time and it hurts. Baseball makes me mad, makes me more angry than any other sport where my team's losing and I'm locked in because it's day after day after day. But I wish the Sox the best. I hope they turn it around. This is what happens, when you don't have a team that's managed and ran, even more importantly, ran properly with the money put in, going outside of the organization to look for people to run it that comes from organizations that have stepped up into the 2025s. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with ownership maybe in the next few years. That's still not a guarantee that things are going to get better, but maybe it's a guarantee that more money will be spent, because at least by throwing more money at it, it gives you more opportunities for things to perhaps turn around. But it sucks. I'm going to go out to the park, though. I know that Faust is going to be out there 6 days.
Yes.
I'm going to go. So I'm at least – I got to go hear Nancy Faust at least once or twice. That's one thing I definitely missed. It's her in the Oregon. So I definitely plan to go out there on a Sunday and check Nancy Faust out and enjoy some of the even good or bad times, but times that I was more locked in because I had more time to throw away watching bad Sox teams. Well, no, I'm not say that. Bad sports in general. It's not a Sox thing in Chicago. Bad sports go around in Chicago. Bad sports in general. But yeah, that's my thoughts. It's funny. I was reading the paper yesterday, and I said I'm going to try to pay more attention to both teams. Of course, the winning team, because it's more stuff to talk about, but just both teams because it's just one of those times. It's like time for me to lock back into baseball. But it's just a lot of time, and you hate spending time watching some shit that's not producing the way that you want it to produce with the amount of time that you have to spend watching it. But it is what it is on the South Side, man. Hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, I'm going June 5th. June 5th, the Mexican Independence, Mexican Heritage Night.
Mm-hmm.
You know how my guys do, man. Big tailgate, DJs, taquiza, all you can eat tacos. So that's gonna be off the chain, man. I'm fired up about that. That's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Probably want to go one other time. I do want to go hear Nancy Faust play. All right, so definitely. But again, But hey, here's the one question: do you like those new jerseys?
It's all right. I mean, it's not. It's you know what? I'll put it like this: if things were going well, I'd probably be more interested in it.
Okay,
but this is what you have to do when you have to generate sales. Yeah, it is. It's what you have to do when and luckily, well, not luck. Fortunately for the ownership, he owns both teams or has a percentage of both teams, so you're allowed to pull it over. I like seeing Lou Bob. I think they could have. I think they could have blended it a little bit better, just to not just here it's just basically the Bulls uni and or a mixture of that. I think it was a way. I like the cap though. I got to say the cap is
which one?
Fire.
This one?
That one. I like that cap. I like that cap. I must have to say I don't think
I like this one. but I really like this one.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I mess with both of them. I think the caps are fire. I don't think the uniform is bad. And also this shot, I think they could have put a little bit more of the 70s white and red uni in there, so it's not so because it's not like they never wore red in their uniform before.
Right.
Now it wasn't predominant, but I think you could have used that and kind of made that instead of just slapping the Bulls on there like that. But hey, man, it is what it is when you're trying to sell some tickets and get people to come out there. It doesn't look bad. It's just
I ordered
it
mine
just
already.
compound. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just compounds that things aren't going well in two sports for me when it comes to two of my favorite teams. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it does. It makes me think about the Bulls aren't going anywhere in the near future. You know what I'm saying? Unless they end up with the first pick in the lottery or top 4 pick in the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Something to give them a better chance with the fact that they're going to end up giving Giddey that money. And then the Sox look like it's going to take them, and this is if they're lucky, maybe 3 more years before things get to going. And that's with trying to get, more prospects. I know they got prospects from the trades last year, but better prospects into the system. And hopefully they can develop those prospects and get them into the major leagues. And those prospects can flourish and not just stagnate. Because now one of the things that we used to always talk about on here back in the days was development, because the Sox have been a team where pitching has never really been that bad of an issue. The Sox can go out there and get a kid that there's how many guys now supposed to have been closers for the Sox that ended up being star left-handers? The same threat with Chris Sale when he was ouchie and Kenny was like, I'm gonna throw your ass in the bullpen, and Chris Sale was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? And the Sox, and I'm just using those as examples, the Sox always have been lucky enough, particularly during the Don Cooper era, to find pitching. It's everyday players, and then it's everyday player development that's really been an issue. You've had your outliers, you know what I'm saying, but regularly this hasn't been an organization that can foster great development and pick great young players. And I would like to see that turn around, because that's the lifeblood. For the last 15 years in the MLB, back when we were kids, you would trade a prospect away for nothing for a player. But now when you look at the contractual power that you have over a player, it makes more sense to not even bring in some, softball hitter when you could sit there and have 3 players that can produce all over the field and hit almost to compare to what that player can do. So that's what I'm looking forward to, hopefully. And I hate to say it, you know what I'm saying, but also perhaps new ownership with the brother of the Phoenix Suns owner, Matt Ishba or whatever, getting more percentage. I'm sure they're not doing it just for the sake of doing it. You're not going to spend that type of money just to do it. Clearly, with the fact that they wanted to, or he was interested in buying the Twins, and knows that the Sox are probably a better organization. It's a better city. You're from the state of Illinois. Do you really want to spend? I'm not dissing Minnesota. I've had some cool summers in Minnesota. My aunt resided in Minnesota, so I used to visit her in the summertime. She lived right next door to Prince's mom. Great times.
Nice.
But yeah, but there was nothing. It wasn't nothing. I wish I could have met Prince. I'm a huge Prince guy. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens on the South Side. But even that, you got to come out there. We got to still go out there and hang out one of these days out there, just to hang out at the park. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I'm happy that you've come around to not donating, because, you've been a great fan and you enjoy donating to, the coffers of the Reinsdorf family and organization. But, hopefully it gets turned around.
Yeah. I'll buy mine on the secondary market where he already got his money. It's not going right to him.
Right to him.
Right to him. Hey, the jersey I got is coming from China, bro.
Listen, go ahead. Like, why? Why would you, in all fairness, and even think about back in the days, we wouldn't even say that. Like, man, this is the real thing. Let me look at that tag. Get your hands off of me. But why? I mean, I don't want to get angry on here. I enjoy hanging out with y'all, and this could be the type of thing that triggers me when someone, and I don't mean literally, spits in your face. How long are you gonna be like, here, take my cash? You know what I'm saying? And things keep compounding where it's like, I really don't care. Listen, we all know that you own the team and that, that you have the right for them to do what you desire, but you still have a fan base. And one of the things that, You know, most ownerships say, you know, that this is just their time to be the owner, and it's, you know, they're passing it on to the next ownership, you know, like it's a public work or something. And that's not true here. It's clearly, this is my toy and I don't care what you think. And to know that how dedicated, there hasn't been enough winning. You know, I can understand if, you know, over the last 30 years, this team, and I mean seasons, have been 500, where they've had half their seasons, they've had losing seasons, half their seasons, they've had winning seasons. There hasn't been enough winning seasons to be disrespectful to your fan base and be like, well, why aren't you coming out? You haven't done what you needed to do. And the times where it seemed like things were getting close, you would do the opposite to remind us that this is your toy. So I'm happy that Sox fans are even more, because Sox fans have always been letting it be known with the turnstiles how we feel, but even more like, I'm not doing it, and they should, because it's hurtful. You know, like, it's, first of all, we're Sox fans. We're not the shining team here, and we love it. I love being a Sox fan. It's a part of my identity. My mother family were from the PCs. That's the Prairie Courts. There's projects right there by Mercy Hospital, also where the Pope was born. I was born at Mercy Hospital. That's all the information you're getting today for you information thieves. So it's, you know, I used to hear, when my parents separated and we went to sometimes stay in the PCs, I would hear, you know, the Sox, the exploding scoreboard. And then my cousin, you know, he used to live in that project right there. So in the summertime, we go with his crib and we'd hang out, and it's right there. So it's always been a part. The first game I ever went to, I was in the second row. My mother's friends had bought us tickets. I remember being a little kid listening to the radio back in the early 80s when my mother was getting up ironing our uniforms. And I used to hear, you know, there was one of those bad Cub runs, and the Cubs every morning were losing. And I couldn't understand why people were Cubs fans. And this, again, I'm not taking a knock at the Cubs. The Cubs are a much better run organization than the White Sox. I'm just telling you, this was part of my thought process on me becoming a White Sox fan. And I just didn't understand it. And I was from the South Side, and the park was right there. So I became a White Sox fan, and I still to this day, I love it. I just wish, I wish it was something. I used to take my family to so many games. They enjoy it.
Yeah, I remember.
I would like to get back to doing that, particularly my daughter's now getting to the age where she can kind of pay more attention to. She's getting into sports now. You know, she will watch. She'll come down here. You know, my son doesn't watch sports with me like I desire. But my daughter is starting to, sometimes she'll come and watch some games with me or whatever, you know, watch a little bit of the draft or whatever. So it's like, hey, all right, I'll take it, baby. Come on, right?
1 out of 2. Come on, baby girl.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? I make sure some man's gonna love it. Like, she knows her stuff, right? So she enjoys it. So, you know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, it sucks. Because man, we were supposed, I used to say this to you, because everybody was like, well, the Cubs won one, we're going to win one. That's never guaranteed. This is the hardest sport to win a championship in, because we know, and then probably I would throw hockey up there, but we know what a hot goalie could do. Best team in the NBA usually wins the championship, or it's coming in second. But best team usually, because it's best 4 out of 7. So your opportunities are increased. So the better you are, the more opportunities you have to win it. And in the NFL, it can be kind of topsy-turvy, but if you are that team, usually you have a chance, or in that window of a few years, you finally do crack through. Really, one of the only teams we didn't see that crack through were the Bills of the early 90s. Usually, if you're a team in the NFL and you're one of the better teams over a 4-year period, you probably should win or
at least get to the end. At least get to the championship Sunday. You know what I mean? At least get to
right.
championship.
And
you know?
and the part where I'm getting all the way back to baseball and the Sox is that a lot of Sox fans felt like because the Cubs did it well, it was going to be our turn. And I remember saying back then, it's not guaranteed, but we didn't even sniff enough of the playoff chances, because at least if we lost, at least like those years where like Grady Sizemore, like all those years where Cleveland had a good team, but it was, you know, they weren't the 90s Cleveland, but they were back. You know, Cleveland had those couple runs where they were back, and then when they were back again, you know, like that's like I'll settle for that. And I'll be like, damn, we didn't win it all, but at least there's a chance and there's a
postseason baseball.
Yeah, this postseason, you can see kids are coming up, you know, like you just all of that. And that's what I mean. That's what I feel deprived from. Like it doesn't have to be World Series, but like you said, just postseasons and opportunities, bites at the apple. Particularly, like, dog, think about it. Like look at how much money, and I'm not a hater or whatever because all these people are rich, but you see what the Dodgers are doing. So if the White Sox got to the World Series and got their ass kicked by the Dodgers, yeah, I'm going to be upset, but damn, look who, dog, they got the World International Baseball Team. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody that comes, they're going to get them. And again, that's props to them for being able to pull it off. Due to the fact that they're on the Pacific Rim, they're going to get any player that's coming from Japan and wants to be closer to his fan base, let alone population-wise, is going to choose a West Coast team usually, and that benefits them being the predominant West Coast team. So they get everything, and they spend. They don't play around. They spend their money. They're going to play their players. So props to them. But I wouldn't be as upset because I'm like, damn, look at what the Sox have on their roster, and these guys have all of this. So, but you still want the opportunity for your team to fucking get there. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that is bothersome.
Well, don't forget, kid, we just made the playoffs back to back for the first time in franchise history. A couple years ago, like back to back.
Wasn't one of those a COVID year? Like, wasn't that because that's the first one was the year that what's the name that got traded to the Boston? It's
Sale?
The left, not Sale, the other one, the second Sale that we just traded this past season.
Crochet.
That was the year that what's the name? Hurt Crochet. The first go around is when the manager prior to Tony, I forget the Cubs guy that we brought in, he hurt Crochet, and that was because the rules.
Ricky Renteria,
and that's 1-1. They expanded the playoffs. Right, so that's just like these teams that made it to the national championship in football and through the playoff, and now it's 25 teams getting in. Man, listen, Ohio, Penn State, none of these teams would have been in the national championship game if it was still 4 teams. Regardless, I'm not getting to that right now. But your point being is still valid. That at all these years for the White Sox, this is the first year that they had back-to-back play. Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And it's not
the
like
third largest market in the country, bro.
And this isn't like the most difficult division. You know what I'm saying? It's not a circus, but it's not the most difficult division. You're not in the NL East. You're not in the AL East
West.
or NL, but you're not in the NL West. You know what I'm saying? So you should be able to sustain where, okay, this year Minnesota's good. Okay, this year's Cleveland is good. Every decade or 15 years, Kansas City's going to finally get their stuff back together. Like, you should be able to still be that team. Some years you may get knocked to the second place team, but you're still it's like you say, it's the Sox in the third largest market. And it comes from the top. Like, it's just the truth of the matter. It's like, I know we didn't like to hear about it when we was kids, and then be like, he's not like that because he's just the owner. Of course, I'm talking about Reinsdorf. We didn't want to hear about it, but that spending, and I'm not saying that they're the cheapest team, but it's not about we're not talking about like they spend crazy money on free agents yet. They still what's the name is still the highest free agent they ever spent money on. Yeah, so like
we haven't signed a $100 million contract yet.
That's crazy. And I mean, I would say in this MLB, but it's not even this MLB. That's like the MLB from 15 years ago, 20 years ago. That's crazy that you haven't signed $100 million. Dog, in all fairness, this is what I was thinking about with the White Sox too. I would love if the White Sox, particularly like last year, had went out and spent $150 million on 3 free agents, right? Maybe one big one and two middle minor ones, and then traded their asses, before the trade deadline. And every year, due to the fact that when we opened up talking, we talked about the collective bargaining agreement and how revenue sharing teams that have terrible records back-to-back years can't be in the top, 10 or is it 5? Well, one of them, they can't be in. They can't. The White Sox can't have the number 1 pick in the draft because they're because of this market, basically. Right. So all the losing the White Sox did, and I'm just saying it out loud to maybe a few people don't know, but I'm sure a lot of you guys know, and women. All that losing is somewhat meaningless because you don't get the best pick coming into your organization. You still have to pick the best pick, and that's a different discussion when you're talking about talent evaluation. But still, every year, Shawn, where they have back-to-back years and it's the year that they can't do it, they should spend and then trade the player to get more assets. Like, you have the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not talking about spending crazy, man. And also, you're moving the player off the books. So it's not even like if you spent $120 million on this free agent, you're paying him for year 1. And then maybe through the trade, you'll say, okay, I'll give you I give you $30 million stretched out over the next 4 years to knock it down somewhat, but you give us 2 of your top 3 prospects or top 4 prospects. Like stuff like that is what they should be doing to get around the rules of the MLB and use the fact that you still have money from the television deal coming in. Let's not act like, the coffers are empty. You know what I'm saying? And let's also not forget, when over a certain amount of people don't turn to that turnstile, the county, the state kicks back money to Reinsdorf if they don't get $1 million and something people go through the turnstiles. You get paid from that too. So even these years when we don't show up, you're still in the black. So I mean, that's where, and again, it's almost getting me. And that's when I'm about to get out of this White Sox talk. I'm almost getting agitated. That's where it's just like, man, miss me. I hate saying it because I miss baseball. I love baseball, but due to the fact that my team sucks, baseball hasn't been treating me as well. But I hate that because now I'm not as connected to baseball, and baseball is such a beautiful sport, and now I've been neglecting it because the White Sox.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we'll definitely have to meet up at a game. And, I got my flask, baby, so we'll be straight.
I got to bring mine. I still haven't took mine to the street. So I got to bring mine. Look, yes, we're going to flask it up. I'm not giving them jack. I may buy a hot dog. But,
hey, you know what? Go on a Tuesday to $5 Tuesdays.
Okay. And
$5 hot dogs, $5 everything.
Okay. But again, I'll say this too. If anybody, and you cool with Shawn and myself, and you got a suite and you want to invite us to come, we will show up and entertain in the suite, because Suite Life it's always a good life.
Yeah,
can't complain about Suite Life.
Suite Life, this is I went into one 2 last year. Someone had an extra ticket. 2 people had extra tickets. I was like, all right, if I have to, okay.
I have to go. Oh my goodness, that right there. Boy, you got a worse team, which we have to. You have the worst team in the MLB, and it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm joking I'm serious about the Suite Life. But the thing about baseball, it doesn't really matter. You can still have fun. I'll say this about Jerry Reinsdorf. His team, like even the Bulls can be bad, but the environment product at the UC is one of the best in sports.
Experience.
Like if you've been to other basketball arenas, you'll see it's like, man, they really know what they're doing. Now, I think now over time, a lot of people have caught up, but still that part where you get your money's worth. It may not be from what's on the court or field, but what's going on, like the food, like you go, one thing, like I just had to get a hot dog. I haven't been, the guarantee rate, so I haven't tested anything new, but the food, you usually can't complain about the service. I really haven't gotten bad service there, whatever. Things like that are cool, but man, when it still comes down to it, the product is why you're there, and the product is ass.
And that might be an insult to ass.
You're right. I apologize to ass.
Well, today starts Bears rookie minicamp, because we haven't talked since the draft, have we? We talked before it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so today starts Bears rookie minicamp. All right, Bears first overall pick, Colston Loveland. He got a deal signed. 4 years, 26.6, fully guaranteed with a $16.01 $1 million signing bonus of 16 mil. And I was talking about it earlier. I'm like, yeah, you got to check for 16 mil. No, he didn't. Uncle Sam took his shit first. Okay, sorry. So you got to check for like almost 8 mil yesterday. Uncle Sam, ball player.
Yeah, I wonder what his NIL deal was looking like.
Yeah.
Years, because he had to have a decent one. But it may not have been a mil, but he definitely had to be 100,000 there playing in Michigan. And I mean, let's not forget. I mean, again,
Natty year.
That's what I'm about to say. I'm a Ty Warren guy, but the Natty year, and then he had to get paid last year because he was one of the only good things on the offensive side that was returning. So I'm sure he got a bump in his pay from this NIL deal. So I mean, he's been living well. That what is he from? Idaho, Iowa? I forget which one. Idaho. I'm sure he's been sending some of those coins back, to the blue collar living out
the ranch.
They've got a couple nice bovines out there right now with some of the money that he's been picking up from those Big Blue alumni and those people out there footing for that NIL. Because you look at the quarterback out there, how much he just got to stay in state and not go to LSU. Was it Weatherspoon, the kid out there?
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he got 10 million. I don't know. I think it's 10 million overall for all
4 years.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
all 4 years. So I mean, and they had to keep him in state. Like if he would have went to LSU, it'd be like, what the hell is going on? He's right here in our backyard. So and again, shout out to Big Blue. Being, of course, we're in Big Ten country, so you like to see Big Ten teams do what they need to do.
Yeah, Bryce Underwood. Thank you. Yeah,
I don't know why I've been doing that. I don't know why I keep saying Weatherspoon with him, but I've done that several times. But Bryce Underwood. Thank you, Jay Grizz.
So, how do you like this draft? This draft class? I mean, headed by Colston Loveland.
I'm like I said, I've been on here for years. I've been a huge Ben Johnson guy for years.
Yeah.
I wanted the Bears, and if you don't know, I'm unfortunately a fan of Penn State. I don't know if it's something about the damn white uniform, being a kid growing up. A little bit about Joe Pa, even though it was a lot of fuckery that took place at Penn State. Seeing 11 on the linebackers, but I'm always a sucker for a good Penn State team. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just something about it. It just always kind of draws me in. So I'm a Ty Warren guy. But I get the fact that Colston Loveland fits what Ben Johnson wants. I would have liked to see him still perhaps try to do it with the Gronk-esque guy rather than the Sam Laporta guy. But that's me not knowing what he needs and my preference. I hope, he's right. And I mean, if both of these guys have really good careers and they're around the same level, fine. I hope the shoulder, I will say this, I hope the shoulder remains healthy, because I don't think we talk about this a lot. Particularly as Bears fans, we've seen a lot of offensive players with shoulder issues re-aggravate those shoulder issues over the last 5 years. You had the receiver Miller. You had the punt return kid that they cut last year. A lot of the guys that had shoulder injuries have always kind of re-aggravated. And he's a tight end. Again, I'm just nitpicking when I say that. Luther Burden, that's gonna be interesting. I mean that in the positive sense. I mean, you now when you look at Luther Burden, you look at Colston being there, the passing game. If they can sustain the running game, this is going to be a good offensive team, which should help the defense. You know what I'm saying? If you can keep the defense off the field, there was a lot of 3 and outs last season, and it wasn't just last season. It's been the last 7 years, if not 8. It's been a lot. There's been the defense has been getting juiced for a long time here. Ozzie Trapillo, I'll be interested to see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and rave super much. I'll be interested to see what he does leverage wise. Probably, when people talk about moving him and him playing left, man, he damn near 6'9". You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point it's a hindrance to be tall in football. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, it's particularly when we're talking about your wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what you're doing in the trenches. You're wrestling. Shmar Turner, I like that one, particularly because I think a lot of the things that the Bears do, you look at Booker last year, we always want the rookie that come in and he's learning, but we want you to come in and be that player right away. And since you already have your 3 technique, you don't have to sit there and force Shmar Turner to perhaps do the things that you wanted Gervon Dexter Sr. to do. And so now you're sitting there and he could be the second guy in the rotation, or third guy rather in the rotation when you're talking about your 3 technique. And it'll be interesting to see how they move Gervon Dexter around now, since they got 3 techniques. The
big thing about Turner though is his weight. Where are you going to put him? Are you going to leave him at D tackle, or are you going to have him lose weight and go back in the edge?
I think they're going to leave him at D tackle. I'm not. Okay. I think when they do, and we've been using this term for 20-something. When they do a NASCAR package, and this also depends on him showing how well he'll play. But when they do a NASCAR package, you'll probably pop him out, because also that end that you got from that you brought in signed from Colts. Yeah, you could pop pop him in and put Turner out there, but also you got to look at it. It just depends on who's healthy and who's out on the field. I think they will use him out there, but I think primarily you're going to want him to be your 3 technique, because the guy, what's the name they brought in? I'm blanking on the guy that brought it from Atlanta. No, not
Grady Jarrett.
Yeah, Grady. That's what Grady. When you look at Grady Jarrett, I mean, how many years does Grady Jarrett have to be really good? Because I mean, he's past his prime. Now, not to say he may not have an outstanding season out of the next 2, but that's a 3-year deal. But it's really a 2-year deal. So you're looking for him to kind of be the guy, perhaps to supplant Grady Jarrett next year, or start taking some heavy minutes away from Grady Jarrett next year. So I think when you were looking at it, that he's probably going to play on the inside, because you want him to learn one thing. Why would you draft him and then be like, well, we're going to want you to play outside? Let him play inside, and then let him play on the outside as he becomes more comfortable with playing in the NFL. I like Zach Frazier too. But go ahead. What are you about to say?
I like the fact of Turner, because he's an asshole. He has an attitude. You saw the time he got blocked. He punched the dude in the nuts. Give me one of those, but he's got a motor. Like, give me one of those.
You need an asshole. Like
who plays next by the edge, because I'd rather have to reel him in than try and get him fired up. And you get him with a guy like Grady Jarrett, who can kind of mentor him. And Grady Jarrett's all for it. Remember in his presser, he's like, "Hey, I got a lot of info. So whoever wants to learn, come get it." So to have a guy like that who's been the man for his entire time in Atlanta, and to have these youngsters, okay, work with him. He's already got him down training in Florida. He's got him down training in Florida. He's got Dexter down there. He's got Aaron Booker down there. You know, and I wonder about Billings with his chest and everything. But he's got them boys down there working. And this is the kind of guy. And if you can corral that Shamar Turner, and you can corral that anger and the edge that he plays with, man, that's gonna do wonders. And
also, you know, another thing with him playing on the outside, you also have to look at defensive coordinator Allen. That for him, even though he's 6'3", that's technically not like the kind of guys he likes playing.
Yeah, he likes taller, longer.
He likes taller guys. So in a rush situation, perhaps, you know, you would throw him out there, but I don't think that he necessarily fits the bill when you're talking about. He usually likes guys that are closer to 6'5". Playing out on the edge. Shorty asked, do I think any of these guys are day one starters? Shorty, the easiest answer was, of course, Colston Loveland. This is the thing. When we said day one starters, it's the package that they come out in. Because they come out in 12, Colston Loveland's going to be a starter. You know what I'm saying? If they come out in 11, Luther Burden may be a starter. So it's going to be the package, you know what I'm saying, that dictates, you know what I'm saying, who on the offensive side. Let me say that. On the offensive side will be the package. I don't know if Ozzy's going to be out. I would doubt. And I mean, I would hope if Ozzy Chapillo is out there, he earned it, and it's not a Braxton Jones situation where it's like, I drafted him, I like him, I'm going to give him more chance. With his dad. Right, I'm gonna give him more chance in the front end to get, so perhaps in the back end he'll be a better player. I hope Chapillo has to earn it, and you just don't hand him a job. So I won't say that if everyone's healthy that Chapillo will be starting, but I would say that the first 2 rookies drafted, depending on the package that the Bears are starting on the offensive side, should be starters. I don't see who on the receiving core you would start if Luther Burden does what he needs to do. And Colston Loveland, you did not draft him first. For him to be sitting on the bench if you come out in 12.
Yeah, he's definitely what was the guy? Smythe. But you're no. Smythe, sorry, we'll bring you in another one. We'll bring you in short yardage when we need 3 tight ends. We'll go 25 personnel or 13. You know, then we'll bring it in. So but Burden, I like Burden. I'm looking forward to, because he got that wiggle. He reminds me of the Shawn Jackson and Shady McCoy. Bigger, but 200 pounds.
Flip side is how. So when we give Shamar Turner props for being an ass, the flip side, because I also just being an ass can be a good thing and it can be a hindrance, particularly if it causes penalties. But with Luther Burden and what we've all heard of his lack of dedication to running routes when he knows he's not getting the ball, basically letting the defender know, I don't have to follow this guy at this point, you know what I'm saying? Or basically we can switch up what we're paying attention to. That's going to be a problem. You want to see him fully commit, and hopefully he does. I'm not saying it to knock the kid, but he's going to have to turn up, you know what I'm saying, and be a great teammate, you know, particularly because they're asking a lot of him with where they drafted him at and the fact that he failed. A lot of people had him as a first-round pick A lot of people had him as one of the best receivers in this draft class, and it came back to bite him in the butt. You know what I'm saying? And I know he didn't have the same quarterback as last year at Mizzou, but still, if you are talent, they're going to come out and they're going to find you, particularly when you are already on their board, and particularly when a lot of people were saying that you were the best prospects to come out of Missouri over the last 15 years. So you come on, but again, I think they did well. I would have liked to see a running back, but I was watching. I think all of us was watching the draft, and the running backs that we were looking at, they went before. Like when you look at the second round, those Ohio State running backs were gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right before us too.
Right before. And I mean, I don't know if you were going to overdraft Caleb Johnson. I wouldn't have been upset. I mean, I only knock on Caleb Johnson if you watched Iowa is they used him. You know, like that though. Like Caleb Johnson is a beast. You know, you're talking about old school Bears running back when it comes to fourth quarter. Because I've been wearing y'all ass down. I'm gonna put it on you. Like he is a workhorse. So the tread on the tire. I'm not saying there's gonna be an issue with him. That's the really only lack with Caleb Johnson outside of him being a breakaway guy. But looking at where he was rumored to be drafted at, it would have been an overdraft. But that was really one of the only guys. And I mean, listen, being a guy, Big Ten guy. Listen, if you didn't watch any of Rutgers, Kyle Monangai, man, was a beast at Rutgers. I'm not saying
he led the Big Ten in rushing in 23.
He was the only thing they had. Do you know how bad their quarterback was in 2023? I mean, that quarterback was trash. He was like Rutgers has lived through him, right? In the Big Ten, right? I mean, in the Big Ten, Rutgers has lived through him. So we'll see. I'm not saying that means he's going to be a great NFL player, but I wasn't mad with them getting him in the 7th round. I'll tell you that, being someone who has watched him within the Big Ten and knowing that they basically have their lightning player as of right now in Swift, and they need their thunder guys, the thumper, and they drafted him, and looking at what he did as the running back. What he did as the offense over Greg Schiano at Rutgers.
I didn't know a lot about him, and so when they did draft him and I started looking into him, like, dude, he's a poor man's Ashton Genty with a little more wiggle, with a lot more. His cuts are a lot sharper. I don't know about the wiggle
part. So. I mean,
them dudes are bouncing people.
He out the poor man part because people bounce off of him. He's small. He's the same height. They're both like 5'8"ish. That explosive getaway part, Genty has more of it. But again, he's a workhorse who in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten has been pretty good the last couple of years. We know last year with those teams coming in, it improved even better. I mean, dude, he went up and got beat up by some of the best in the nation. Put it like that. He got his, and he still was rushing for over 100 yards, like 150 yards, and every team knew all the Rutgers could do was hand the ball off to him, and he still was kicking ass. Like they did not have a quarterback before last. Yeah, that they didn't, and he still was kicking it. Like that, even last year, and Rutgers got off to a good start. It's primarily due to him. So again, I like for a 7th round pick. I really like. They got him in the 6th. I would have really like it. But yeah, he's a nice pickup for what they seemingly need. So it'd be interesting to see, you know what I'm saying, what happens here. And also you got I think 2 things. One, you got a coordinator and a head coach, and I know that he's not the coordinator, but he's the primary play caller, is why I said that knows and is dedicated to run the ball. A lot of people get mad at the Lions because of the trick plays, but they weren't razzle-dazzle trick plays. It was more just, I see what you're not paying attention and I'm going to take advantage of it. But I think when people do that knock, they're not talking about the foundation of the Lions offense was running the damn football, and like running the football and play action. Like, so that's simplifying the game for the quarterback, making it easy. And that's the same thing they're going to do for Caleb is run the damn ball and simplify it where it's play action. You should have a safety probably playing closer to thinking that the ball is getting ran, and you should be able to have open coverage or single coverage so somebody can take advantage of it. So you have that. But this part, my second part, they have a much better offensive line. Like this has been one on paper. Let me say that on paper, this is one of the better offensive line the Bears have had in 7 years. You know, when you're talking about from guard to guard, you should be sound from guard to guard. If Darnell Wright takes a step from his pedigree, you really should be sound. No question mark, and it's a big question mark because it's the blind side of the quarterback is left tackle. And if they can get really good play out of whoever plays left tackle, Braxton Jones or whoever steps into that position, then, I mean, that's half of the battle. Then we'll know if Caleb is who he's supposed to be, you know, or if he's going the way. But it's hard for anybody wearing a Bears helmet under center to really find out who they are when they're getting their ass kicked, you know, and you can't sustain a running game. And primarily the defense knows, you know, we're going to be in the backfield after hike, and, you know, it's not going to be a lot of time for the quarterback to be able to read the defense and get the ball out to any open receiver.
Yeah, it's going to be, and I can't wait because they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason one of the biggest reasons that I like Monangai is his pass pro, man. That got the hair on my arm standing up, man. I was fired up, not afraid to take on linebackers. Got figure DB. DB got no chance. He's depleting you, and he would just stonewall linebackers, and that will get him on the field. And he never fumbled in college, so there's a lot going for you.
That's dog. You didn't fumble, and everyone knows that you're getting the ball.
Yes.
Like you were the offense, so everyone's swiping at the ball, and you never gave the ball up, and four defenders was on you. Hey, man, I'm with you. I also King Buka with the sweat comment, facts on that one. You know, he better play well this year because he definitely got a pass last season. Sweat better show up,
bro. He's not a dog. I seen it, you know, in the locker room when I seen him. Like, you know, we're some dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been around. You know when a dude is a dog. He's talented. He's a very talented player. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't a dog. He ain't that.
Well, but listen, that's why you brought in Grady Jarrett.
Yes.
Hopefully, like everyone. You don't want someone. You can't turn someone into a dog.
No.
You know, but what you can do is try to put dogs around a super talented person. But like the problem, and I was talking to Jarrett. Did GN Sports like a few months ago, and after talking to him, that's one of the things that he said was the Bears don't have any dogs on, you know, really on the team, but leading the defense. And the dog, you need an ass. You need somebody who you follow, and when they get turned up and angry, and it's rightfully so, because sometimes some people can just be ass like, man, I don't want to deal with you today. But it's like, nah, he right, man. We need to be mad at the fact that they kicking our ass right now, right? Or they disrespecting us. And that's why you bring in a guy like Grady Jarrett, because you don't get it from the linebackers. Your best defensive player in Jalen Johnson, that's Jalen is more of a follow, a watch my example type player. And also, how many cornerbacks really get the whole defense outside of having a turnover amped? It's usually guys playing down the middle. You know what I'm saying? And their linebackers, their linebackers aren't really those guys or whatever. So you know, you got, even though Edwards is a bear, Edwards got that bear in him. You know, like he's gonna throw his body out there, right? Like I worry about what's left later. But still, so and Brisker, the way he is reckless with his body. Unfortunately, it's caught up to him. And you hope that he can turn that around. But they need guys that can rally those guys, you know. And that's what you look at a Grady Jarrett, and you hope that you can get that. You look at what Joe Tooney is going to do on that offensive line, having a real grinder, you know, like. I'm a pro. I'm going to show you guys how Tom Brady and how Patrick Mahomes and how we did it as a line. Like Bears have always used, you know, you're going to get the training camp. And again, it may be better this year, but there's going to be some article about how the offensive lineman waited for the last lineman to come out before they walked over or some stuff, and how the unit is this. But hopefully it's going to be a more fortified union because you got three pros. Now we hopefully – you know, JonahJackson is the Detroit JonahJackson and not what they had with the Rams, but also the scheme fit with the Rams. But you look at, you know, and Dahlman, you got a professional center. He may not be the second best center with what he get paid, but you got a top 5 to top 10 center And that's been a Bears problem for how long now? It's basically been a Bears problem since Roberto Garza, and I was going to say, yeah, Olin, but at least Roberto was decent. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a Hall of Famer like Olin. And even where the years where you had Cody and you had Daniels, you still had good play coming from the center position. But out after Cody moved back to guard, he was never the same center. Right. And you always had exchange issues with Cody. And, the things with Daniels was he wasn't necessarily vocally loud enough, but still he played well at guard and center. But after those, it's been bad down the middle. And, the best way to get to anything is a straight line. So hopefully now when you talk about guard to guard, you're stout. This is old Saints football. Sometimes they didn't have the best tackles when Drew Brees was down there, but they made sure that Drew Brees could step up in the pocket by having some really good guards in the center. Yes. And you got a situation now where let's see, and again, I like what they did this offseason. They still have holes. They still need an edge rusher. You can't solve everything in one offseason. Let's also say that. Need an edge rusher. You're going to have to figure out at safety moving forward. You still should be good at safety because, everybody is kind of like, kicking Bird to the curb already. And it's like, give the old man another year before you can. And hopefully Brisker can be better. But then it's who's going to step up alongside Jalen because, Tyreek Stevenson, we see physically what he can do, but mentally we're not seeing him put it all together, and that's but I'll say this. If you pressure the quarterback a lot better than you have the last few years, it's going to make everybody in the backfield a lot better because you're not giving the quarterback the amount of time and the receivers the amount of time to get separation away from the defender.
Yeah, and that's gonna work wonders for. And I like him a lot. I like the physical play. I like the shit talking that he does. He's on that edge coming out of the U. He's just got to tighten his game up. He just got to be tight. He got to tighten his game up, and if he does, man, he can be one of the corners because he's mad physical, and he's taller than
athletic, and he's athletic as hell. That dog. Let's not forget that interception the year before last, going back where he did the day. I don't even want to. It was I'm always gonna respect Willie Mays. I was gonna say a basket catch to Willie Mays, but it wasn't a basket because he was extended. All right, like he was fully extended going back. Like that's an extremely athletic play. Physically, Tyreek Stevenson has it. It's mentally, like lock the fuck in. Like you dog. It's money to be made out here. Man. For a quarterback, you may not make it here. Look, you can make it here, but you can make a lot of bread. Lock in and take advantage of your talents. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people said it. You mentioned that he went to the U, but let's not forget he transferred from Georgia. So you talk about Kirby. Kirby had him playing the star position down there. You're asking a lot out of that position down there. He didn't like it, but you're asking a lot. He wanted to play the boundary. So like it's a lot of talent. We can see if they can put it together. You know what I'm saying? They seem like they got a great offensive minded head coach. You got a really good, reputable defensive coordinator. It's not an experiment on the defensive side who the coordinator is going to be. You got a good defensive coordinator, so it'd be interesting. Your head coach was a good defensive coordinator last year. He just shouldn't have been a head coach. So we'll see.
And the cool part about Dennis Allen, bro, is that he's got his bite of the apple at head coach. So he's not. I don't think he's going to get another shit.
They will have to be really good, which you want them to be, but they will have to be really good over a year. He's not going to get it's there. I would not think, let's just say if the Bears had a top 10 defense this year, that he's going to get a head coaching job next year. But I'll say this, if they have a top 10 defense consecutively over 3 years, he's definitely going to get another bite at the apple because people are going to be like, well, look what he did. Also, Chicago, like it helps. It's a bigger market. You know what I'm saying? Like people aren't going to remember that Saints stuff. Like, man, like whatever, that's the Saints, right? Like whatever. They always in cap hell. But to your point, it shouldn't be a situation where he was an offensive coordinator, let alone an offense coordinator who hadn't had a head coaching job already, that you're worried he's going to get snatched up. He should be here for several years. And if he does get snatched up, that means the defense was playing hella good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you should be able to figure somebody out. They may not be able to keep it to the same level, but they should be able to keep it close enough to what he was doing.
Yeah. So this season's going to be really fun. A lot of expectations. I'm anxious to see how offensive line, defensive line. Caleb, receivers. I want to see the chemistry with Caleb and DJ and Caleb and Cole Kmet. I want to see just a whole bunch of different things in the defensive line. It's going to be fun.
Rome,
That's right. That's right.
You got to get Rome. That's a ninth pick in the draft. You got to start seeing some of what you thought. You have an open slot now. He's the second receiver on the team. But yeah, and also these guys should be seeing a lot more of. They should be seeing a lot of open plays, man. Nobody outside of DJ, like you're going to send the defense to DJ's side, and then maybe if Colston starts to show it. But really, when you're talking about Burden and you're talking about Rome, man, nobody should be shifting coverage in their direction. So you're talking about guys should have an opportunity, and also as we talked about earlier, play action. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like it should look good. It should look better than it did last year. You still have a guy that's learning on the job how to be a head coach. And I'm saying it as a Ben Johnson fan. He's still learning how to be a head coach. So there's going to be some bumps because he's learning. Hopefully he gets into his groove a lot earlier by maybe the second quarter, that he's really kind of figured it out. He's a heady guy though, and he's an offensive coordinator, so timeout shouldn't be the same issue that you usually get with defensive coordinators becoming head coaches. Yeah. So that shouldn't be a problem. But still, he's a guy he's learning how to be a CEO. He hasn't been a CEO before, and just because I'm a fan of his, I can't lie and say everything should be smooth. Hopefully, it just becomes a lot smoother in the beginning rather than waiting to the middle or the end.
Yeah, and that was my biggest question: can he be a head coach? All right,
I think so.
We know he's a hell of an offensive coordinator. All right, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that gets thrown at him, and how well, and not just can he be a good one, but how well can he learn to manage all those? And I think the fact that he got Dennis Allen, okay.
I was going to say, look at his staff, Shawn.
Yeah,
he did. So a lot of times you get guys, and we got to be teachers, and I'm not dissing the teachers thing. But when you talk about Al Harris and Antoine Randall L and Dennis Allen being a defensive coordinator, but former players who we've seen guys like, if you see guys talk about Antoine Randall L as one of the better wide receiver coaches.
Because they demand the shit out of their players.
I don't have to know what Al Harris did as a coach. And I know he was a good positional coach, but I know how Al Harris was as a player. Al Harris was underrated. If you didn't grow up in the NFC North or the Central, but you didn't grow up here, you may not know how good Al Harris was.
Yeah.
And then also a good person. It's always one of those people riding them kids on the damn dirt bikes up to during their tour days up to practice or whatever. But my point being, usually with a guy that's as smart as Ben Johnson, he wants alikes and the guys around him to be the same. And you look at him bringing in that Dan Campbell type of flow where it's like, no, I'm going to bring in ex-players. I'm going to bring in good teachers. I'm going to bring in Dennis Allen. But it's the mix. So seeming like he knows his weaknesses. Again, we have to still see, to your point. We still have to see. But it seems like he didn't go in like, I know everything. It still seems like he went in like, I don't know. So I'm going to mix it.
He knows what he doesn't know. He's like, I don't know everything. So boom. And then it's not, dude, we haven't even mentioned the running back coach.
Yeah. You brought in from Kansas City. I know he's from Washington.
Eric Stevens with Bieniemy.
Yeah, Bieniemy. You bring, and listen, we know Bieniemy's an asshole. So you bringing in a guy that players get mad at because he asks so much from them. And I mean, to me, you're supposed to rise to that level. Like, again, now if it gets to the point where he's just an ass, and sometimes that's fine too, but it depends on how demanding he is or how much of a jerk he is. But if he's asking us to reach a certain level, we shouldn't be upset with him because he's telling us that he thinks that we can do it. Like, that's the thing that I always like talking to my son, whatever. And I tell, like, and again, my son he's a really good young man, but I say to him and my daughter, like, I wouldn't ask this of you if I didn't think you could do it. If you seem like you had some type of learning disability, I wouldn't ask you to do this, but I'm asking you because I see the potential that you can, and you do really well, but because you do really well, you don't ask yourself to do great. And that's the thing that I think sometimes when you look at what Bieniemy had in Washington, with looking at how bad the organization had been all those years and trying to tell them, like, I know you're getting paid, but you think your shit doesn't stink, and it does. Mm-hmm. And you got to grind out if you guys want to turn this mess around. And I think that benefits the Bears and having that in a running back room, particularly knowing what you want out of your running backs. Like the Bears haven't gotten, and it's been a lot on the offensive line, they haven't gotten great quality out of that running back position in a minute, because even when they had Montgomery, he was getting tagged in the backfield 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you want to see somebody come in here and light a fire under their butts, man. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I think it'll be better. I think they finally got the head coach. Like, this was the guy for the last couple of years that I've wanted the Bears to get. I'm happy that he wanted to be here. It made the most sense. I know a lot of people, a lot of national friends of mine were telling me he wasn't going to come here. And I'm like, I was a Bears fan here. Fuck the media. I was like, he's coming because this makes the most sense. One, I want him to be here, right? But this makes the most sense. It's like, he's going to, the Raiders. He doesn't want to touch the Bears. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, dog, this makes it. He stayed there for this job. And again, I'm biased because forget the media part. This was also a Bears fan, but it's like he's been here. He sees the potential. They got the quarterback. That's what would have made sense last year to fire Eberflus because you would have gotten him. But I'll say this: it's probably better that they didn't fire Eberflus last year because it gave Ben Johnson another year under Dan Campbell. You know what I'm saying? I think he probably needed another year under Dan Campbell. I think they needed another year for him to see for that Lions run to run out. You know what I'm saying? So to kind of see, okay, how they bounce back from last year's loss to this year and for it to be no questions. Hey, I stayed. We couldn't get it done, whatever. But I think everything happens for the most part for a reason. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Ken, great stuff, man. I appreciate your time, brother. Do me a favor, though, before you go, let everybody know where they can find you online.
Follow me at That's Davis. Definitely producing more content for you all. So jump in. I'll be posting it, and some of the times I'll definitely be going live. Everybody, have a great weekend. Shout out to you, K-Man, Berlissimo. Everybody be safe. Berlissimo, hopes the family's doing well. Shawn, hope your mom is doing well. Definitely to everybody out there, the Lara family, hope everybody's doing well, man. And don't do anything stupid. And enjoy, when the weather gets good, enjoy the weather. But I'll see you all in a couple weeks, if not 3 weeks, Shawn. You be safe, my guy.
Bet, man. Love you, big dog. We'll talk soon. All right. Later. Guy, that's Ken Davis from the Ed Davis Show, man. What a great conversation. We got to get out of here. I don't have to go pick her up, but I got to go eat. I'm hungry, and I got to go watch Star. I got to watch Power. Hey, listen, guys, have a phenomenal weekend. All right. Tomorrow's Mexican Mother's Day. Okay, for all my Mexican peoples. All right, so you give your mom some love tomorrow. Then Sunday is American Mother's Day, so mom gets double duty. All right, and make sure you take care of them. And I always tell you before I leave, let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right, do yourself a favor. I'm meeting up with a buddy tomorrow night. For some dinner. I haven't seen him in a minute, so I'm gonna go do that. I'm excited to see that. And like I said, I don't just talk the talk; I walk the walk, and reach out to some people. And I got a great call. Oh, Junior. Oh, I told Junior. I got a great call from a guy that I played football with for a long time. He moved down to Texas. His sons ended up playing football, college football. And one of his sons who played at Utah State played in the CFL for a little bit. Got a call from him out of the blue on Wednesday. Really made my day. And you know what? And that's what it's about. Friends, brothers, people you care about. So listen, guys, you have a phenomenal day. The weather's going to be gorgeous. Get out to them patios, the rooftops, the restaurants. Get out there, or hell, just have people come over in the backyard in your patio and do it. All right. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, you guys have a phenomenal weekend. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I love and appreciate you guys. I'm grateful for the support. But guess what? I am out.